Am I the a-hole for taking away my daughter's college money? I, 38 male, got a divorce 5 years ago. I met my new wife, Sarah, 34 female, at the workplace, and getting to know her made me realize how unhappy I was with my own marriage. We quickly became great friends, and there was an attraction, but we kept everything professional. I sat my ex-wife down at a time and told her I wanted a divorce, and that I was unhappy, that I believe I have fallen in love with someone else and I just want this over. She, 36 female, did not take it well, and it was a rough divorce. After the divorce was finalized, I asked out Sarah, and she said yes. I had 2 daughters with my ex, who are now 17 female Abby and 18 female Grace. They did not take the divorce well at all, and openly hate Sarah. I have custody every 2 weeks, and during the time they go to a therapist. My ex refuses to take them even if I'm paying for it during her time with the kids. My oldest is 18 now, so I can't force her to go, but she still comes over when her sister does. Therapy has helped, but not by much. I do discipline them with taking away privileges, but that doesn't seem to work either. Especially since my ex seems to encourage them to be cruel to Sarah. It was so bad at some parts that Sarah would go on road trips when I had my kids over. Anyways, I have been saving up for their college for the longest time. Each kid has about $40,000 saved up. This is all in my savings. Sarah and I have been trying for a baby for a while now, and she did get pregnant. The baby was a stillborn and it broke our hearts. We turned his ashes into a necklace for Sarah and a ring for me. Our jobs don't allow jewelry since it is a safety hazard with all the machines. It can get caught in the machine, which is very dangerous. So every day we take them off for work and put them in her jewelry box. Well, we came home from work today and the ring and the necklace were destroyed. The ring looked like it was cut in half with a bolt cutter, and the necklace was smashed. Abby and Grace were smug about it and started to taunt us. Sarah having a breakdown and I told them to get out. They didn't think I was serious, so I told them again. They said whatever and that I wasn't going to see them soon anyway since they are going to college. But I told them they're not getting a single dime from me. They left. I informed my ex that they will not get any money for college from me, and she has been blowing my phone up since. My daughters have also been blowing up my phone. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Everyone sucks here. The first 2 are easy. Your kids should have never done what they did because it was abhorrent. And mom should never have stuck children in the crossfire of a divorce by feeding them information/lies/whatever about your wife. That is easy and doesn't need much explanation. Now with you, it gets more complicated. You seem to give zero acknowledgement to the damage you have done to your family. A 12 and 13-year-old were stuck in the middle of this rough divorce, in which their dad told their mom he didn't love her anymore, fell for someone else, and wanted out. Then you immediately got with Sarah. You then forced them into therapy as if they are the problem, and disciplined them and take away privileges because they didn't adapt well to this major, sudden, catastrophic event to a child that changed the trajectory of their world forever. Why not try family therapy, in which everyone can communicate together rather than sending your children off as if they were the reason the family was broken? Have you ever bothered to sit down with them and just listen, like a father is supposed to do? Or did you expect them to just adapt to whatever decision you chose, no matter how it affected their lives? Edited to add, for the final time, I think Opie made a right move getting a divorce. Where he did not make the right move is refusing to acknowledge that his choice caused significant damage, that he cheated on the mom, aka emotional affair, is a thing. Please educate yourselves. And that he expected his daughters to just accept this as if their world hasn't been flipped upside down. This right here, like he has no self-awareness of the damage he caused. So you had an emotional affair that caused the end of your marriage, and then you immediately took up with this new woman, and then you're shocked that your kids don't like her. Everyone sucks here. This here is the right answer. No one in this situation is blameless. They're all terrible. Everyone sucks here. What they did was horrendous. But even from what little you wrote, it's apparent you handled this horrendously. From insisting on custody when they didn't want anything to do with you, and at 12 to 13 they were definitely old enough to do so, to forcing them into therapy to fix them, to punishing them for not wanting to play happy family. You pushed and pushed and pushed, and they pushed back. Lots of blaming to go all around. Edit. Since some people are asking, the money was not part of the divorce agreement. Instead, the ugly divorce was with my ex trying to make it so I didn't have custody. But the money is also just in my name. It was just me throwing money in a separate saving account. I'm also in therapy. People are mentioning family therapy. And to put it lightly, it didn't go well. My ex refused to be on the same room as me. The girls refused to be in therapy with Sarah and me. I thought it would add to the resentment if that was forced, so I deemed it better that the daughters go to their own therapist, and I have had one since the divorce. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not throwing my daughter a graduation party because she was being a bully to her stepsister? She lost out on a large gift as a result. I have 3 children who I shared custody of. My youngest daughter has graduated high school, but we found out that for the 6 months prior, she and her friends had been bullying my stepdaughter at school. After getting more info from my stepdaughter's friend, apparently my daughter's friends instigated the bullying while my daughter would often laugh at her stepsister's expense. I think this made her just as culpable as her friends, even if my daughter claims that she can't control what other people say about her stepsister. So the consequence of this was to cancel the graduation party I normally throw for my children who graduated. In the past, I have had an aunt who gave each child a $40,000 check to use for their college. It's been a huge help because my ex and I aren't well off. She gave these checks at the graduation parties. For my daughter, my aunt asked when we'd have the party so she can give the check. I told her we weren't planning a party as a consequence. She understood and said she'd bring the check when we met up in the future. Unfortunately, my aunt passed away a month after what should have been the party date. We never got to meet her before then. And her children are denying the existence of any check from my daughter, which may well be the case. This has created a huge conflict between my daughter and myself. She had been counting on the money to live on her own closer to campus and take out significantly less loans. But now she's going to have to live at home and take out loans. I've co-signed these loans for her because I feel terrible about it. I've tried talking to her about it, and how I wish it hadn't gone this way, but she's completely iced all of us out. She moved down into our basement and doesn't come up anymore. She hasn't talked to me, my wife, or my stepdaughter since. I do feel very badly that she lost out on a gift, and I feel very guilty about it. But I truly felt that I was giving a proper consequence at a time. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. How were you to know that the aunt would die? Your daughter needs to learn that everything has consequences. All future graduates are going to miss out on that gift. Not the a-hole. Aunt's death is not your fault. Canceling the party was 100% justified. Thank you for loving your daughter enough to teach her right from wrong. Don't let her make you think you owe her $40,000. The party could have been canceled for any number of reasons, especially post-2020, and the result would be the same. I'm sorry for your loss, and I don't mean of money. Not the a-hole. You imposed a reasonable consequence. You could not have known about your aunt passing away, or that her children would not honor her wishes, which makes them the a-hole too if they knew this was something she did/had intended to do. When that reasonable consequence had larger than anticipated consequences, you stepped up to help mitigate those consequences. It sucks she missed out on a gift, but maybe this will teach her that her actions can have consequences and to be a better person. My sympathies for the stepdaughter. Daughter who perceives herself to be stuck at home is going to take it out on the stepdaughter. On the whole, daughter seems like a piece of work. I hope he's not a-hole-ish for canceling the graduation party. There was no adult behavior to celebrate. I hope he's certainly not an a-hole because aunt died unexpectedly. Stuff happens. The loss of the $40,000 check was a freak misfortune. No reason for guilt. Not the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my mom I won't play Happy Family? Okay, so some background is very much needed in this situation. My 18 female and my sister's 14 female mom is a medical practitioner. She works long and demanding hours. My mom also has a lot of childhood trauma from bullying and depression and anxiety. These two facts make for my mother's perfect mix of insecurity about being left out of things. My childhood was marked by my dad telling my sister and I from a very young age, "Your mom is sad, go ask her to read you a book. Bring your mom this tea and say you were thinking about her and miss her, or her getting upset when she didn't get a longer hug than my dad, etc." Lately, my parents have been going through a separation. We moved into 3 small apartments. One for my dad, one for my sister and me, and one for my mom. She wanted to have one a couple of doors away from us. At the beginning of my parents' separation, she sat me down and told me that she is going to be, in her words, very selfish for the next while, and that she didn't have the brain capacity to worry about me and my sister or think about us, but she needed our support. My mom has a standing invitation to eat with all of us. She never asks me and my sister to come eat with her, and when we ask if we can come, she says she's already cooked for one. Every once in a while, she decides that she wants to have dinner with all of us because she's feeling left out. When she comes, my dad makes sure we are always sitting at the table to greet her, and we always push the conversation to happy things so she will stay. But seriously, this has started getting to me. The fact that she comes over and expects us all to play happy family, and dote on her when she decides she wants attention and to be a family again. Either we are a family or we aren't. She's messing with everyone's emotions, giving us false hope that she wants to be a family. So yesterday when my dad told me to come over to have dinner with mom, I said no. I'm done playing happy family whenever mom decides she wants one. She came into our apartment and told me that she knows I'm sad, but I have to pull it together and support her. She reminded me that she told me she was going to be selfish at times, but I replied that her actions have consequences. And just because she's doing something for herself, doesn't mean that she's automatically absolved from the hurt she gives to others. She cried and left the apartment. My dad is really upset with me. He really looks forward to these dinners, and the regret is starting to build. I feel like a total a-hole. So Reddit, after all of that, am I the a-hole? Note, this is shining a very negative light on my mom. I just want to say my dad is by no means a saint. They have their own issues that I won't get to here. Now for the comments before the little update. Not stay home. Your mother does not get to play Russian roulette with an entire family like this. You're exhausted from this and it shows. Not stay home by a long shot. A mom's job is to take care of her kids, not demand they take care of her. Not stay home. It is not your duty to be your mom's therapist. You deserve to be happy too. Focus on your own healing and happiness. If your mom doesn't like it, these are the consequences of her only caring about herself and acting like it's everyone else's duty to sacrifice for her. Yeah, to borrow a phrase my friends that I will use with each other, the OP is not her mom's emotional support animal. If she chooses to take on that role, it's fine, but clearly she's not, and her parents need to let her take care of herself first. You know, like mom is doing? Definitely not stay home. Separations are hard for everyone and you all need support. Just as you support her, she should be supporting you and your sister. In fact, making you both priority, as you're only 18 and running a household and in school, I imagine, and your sister is a minor. Your mother needs to grow up and realize she has children who need care and support, and stop acting like a 5-year-old. Speak to your dad too. He definitely could have handled this differently too. He needs to stop babying your mom and have your back a little too as you're still 18. You have way too much responsibility on your shoulders, and they should be helping you and your sister out more. Info. Is she seeing a therapist? She has set her boundaries, but you are also allowed to set yours. She doesn't get to pull you in when she wants to and turn you away when you need her. You are 100% correct in saying she can't choose her actions, but she can't choose the consequences. Yeah, she has seen a psychologist for a long time and my parents are in counseling together. I reckon her psychologist has been gently telling her all these things about prioritizing her emotions. Very valid advice, but she's taken it very far. Now for the little update. Hey everyone, thanks for the responses. I wrote this at 2 a.m. and then went to sleep so I wouldn't obsess over the replies. I'm gonna answer the 2 biggest questions here. Yes, my mother has been seeing a psychologist for years and my parents were in couples counseling. A lot of people are concerned about my younger sister, and I just want to clarify that our apartment is quite bare bones. Just a kitchenette and rooms and bathrooms, but my dad's and mom's are both full amenities, laundry/kitchen, etc. This wasn't our first choice. We couldn't get 2 apartments big enough that were next to each other. So honestly, it's not like I'm taking care of my sister or anything. I would compare it to having a 2-story house, where at the end of the night you go upstairs to bed, but instead of upstairs, it's just 2 meters down the hall from my dad. We only go there to sleep and do online school, which is actually quite nice, and I'm aware this is a very privileged situation to be in. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend she should stop having kids for a while? My 29 female friend, 30 female Carly of 18 years, has 7 kids, all nearly stair-step in age. With each kid, her body gets weaker and health takes a toll. However, with the last 3, she had minimum prenatal care. Actually, with her last, she went to appointments early on, and that was it. She was overdue and had serious issues getting an induction because she hadn't been seen before the cutoff. Thankfully, her kids have been healthy for the most part. I've tried to gently broach the subject over the years after her 3rd was born to take a break. She struggled financially and has had issues with housing, transportation, the works. On top of that, in my personal opinion, her kids are wild, to put it kindly. I love the little rascals, but they lack guidance and discipline. It's a circus whenever there's more than 2 at a time. And Carly has become quite desensitized to it all. She does her best, but I can see the mental toll it takes on her, which isn't good for any of them. She brushes it off and says she's fine, they're fine, everything is fine. So much so that she wants to have more soon. She legit doesn't care how many she has. She said, and I quote, "I'll have as many as God gives me," because she loves babies. But that's just it. She loves babies. But the new ones wears off as they get older. Then they're a struggle and she's lost. I finally broke and said it scares me how this is effectively killing her with each pregnancy, and that her older kids are suffering. She immediately got pissed because I insinuated that she was a bad mother. I tried to explain that wasn't what I meant, but that the struggle could be alleviated by not having more kids until she was stable. She wasn't having it, called me a witch, and stormed out. I haven't heard from her in a while and I miss her and the kids dearly. I'm wondering if the line I crossed was worth it. Am I the a-hole for telling her that? Not the a-hole. She is a bad mother. Unfortunately, she's not going to stop. Seems self-destructive, but she's probably not the type to go to a therapist or anything like that. Guessing by her lack of concern about prenatal care, etc. Not going to lie, as she pops out more kids, I see parentification in the making with the older kids. Not the a-hole. Nothing worse than a neglected child. 7 of them is unimaginable. Sounds like she's addicted to babies. Yes, her body's her choice, but if she's struggling, then she needs to stop. Yep, that was my read. She's either addicted to being pregnant or to babies. She needs therapy, but unfortunately OP can't make her get if she doesn't want. Not the a-hole.